Hi there, everybody. My name is Julie Dries. I'm the children's librarian at the Harrison Township Public Library, and you are watching an episode of Reading ABCs. Reading ABCs is a program that we have for preschoolers, for lower elementary children, those who are learning their alphabet, and we explore some of the sounds that the letters make, words that you will find those letters in. We do some songs and some stories and some activities here on our chart. So if you have a child who is learning about their letters, bring them over to your computer, your phone, your laptop, whatever you happen to be watching this on, and let's get started with our alphabet. The first thing I like to do in reading ABCs is to review all the letters of the alphabet simply by singing the ABC song together. So let's put up the letter line here. Get my fingers out of the way, and I would like all of you to sing along with me our ABC song. I think most of you know it, don't you? And if you don't, you can listen, and maybe next time you watch, you'll know a few more letters and you can keep practicing until you know them all. Let's sing together. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Thank you for helping me with that. I think some of you are getting pretty good at that ABC song, aren't you? I know you are. Now let's take a look at our board up here and what we're going to learn about the letter G today. So our letter G, as we know, every letter makes a sound, right? Well, the letter G actually makes two sounds. It's a little tricky. The G says G. Can you say that with me? G. The G says G. That's its main sound, but sometimes it likes to pretend to be another letter. Sometimes it likes to pretend to be the letter J, and the J says J. Sometimes so does our G. So we're going to sing our little song about the two sounds that G makes. The G says G. The G says G. Every letter makes a sound. The G says G. It also says J. It also says J. Tricky letters make two sounds. It also says J. So let's find out a little bit more about this tricky letter. One of the first things we should probably know is how to draw or how to write the letter. So if we take a peek, let's look at our capital G here. Our capital or our uppercase G starts off, if you're writing, it starts off on the top of your line and it makes a curve. It goes around just like a letter C. If you remember us making our C, it's very much like a C, but then when we stop, we go in and make another line. So we go around and in. Get your finger ready because we're going to draw one of those together. So start kind of up towards the top. And if you want to, you can kind of follow my finger on your screen. So we go around and in. Go up to the top, let's try it again. Around and in. One more time. Around and in. Now sometimes you'll see a G where people will make an extra line that comes off here, like a little tail, and that's okay too. You'll see G's look a lot of different ways. The small letter G, when you're reading it in books, the small letter G can be really weird. There's several different ways to make a small letter G, and parents, if you point this out to your kids when you're reading, that will be helpful because sometimes a small g or a lowercase g is hard to recognize. We're going to draw the most basic one here, which is just a circle, okay, and it starts in the middle of our line if we are writing on paper. So it goes around and then a hook. And it goes around and the hook actually goes underneath the line if we're writing on lined paper. So if you would like to start drawing with me now, we're going to do our letter G. So get your finger ready and we're going to go around and hook. Let's try it again. Around and hook. One more time. Around and hook. Very good. Practice some of those when we are done on paper in shaving cream, in sand. There's all kinds of other fun ways to write them in different color crayons, markers, paint, finger paint. However you can practice making letters is so much fun. Now let's look at some words that start with our letter G. This one here, you'll see this is a special type of a fish, and his name kind of goes along with his color. This guy is called a goldfish. Say goldfish. Do you hear the g at the beginning? Goldfish. Next, we have a musical instrument that has some strings, and this is called a guitar. Guitar. Try saying that word. Guitar. You hear the g at the beginning? These are one of my favorite little critters. They're so much fun. They are called a goat. 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 Such cute little dudes. And this is another word for presents. Instead of present, we can say that these are gifts. Gifts. There you go, trying saying that word. Gift. Good. Now, we did not have any j sounds up here. Think about, I'm going to give you a little riddle of a word that starts with a j. So think about an animal that you might see in the zoo where they live in Africa. They're very tall and they have a really long neck. They're kind of a yellowish color with brownish spots, and it is called a what? Think of an animal with a long neck. What are those guys called? Giraffe. A giraffe is an example of a word that starts with a G, but it sounds like a j sound. Giraffe. It is story time. I chose a book today that has the letter G in its title that I think some of you already know. I really love this story. This is Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. And this has a little song, and you guys can sing along with me if you know this song. It repeats, and so if you don't know it, you probably will before the end of the book. So feel free to join me. This was created and illustrated by James Dean. He is both the author and the illustrator of this book. Here we go. Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. Pete the Cat put on his favorite shirt with 4 big, colorful, round, groovy buttons. Can you guys show me 4 with your fingers? 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. He loved his buttons so much that he sang this song. You can do a little dancing here if you'd like. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop! Oh no! One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Can we count them? 3. Here's our big 3. 4 minus 1 equals 3. 1, 2, 3. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. Let's sing it. My 3 groovy buttons. My 3 groovy buttons. And he's saying 3 groovy. Groovy. Pop! Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 2. Show me 2. 3 minus 1 equals 2. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. Can you sing with me? My 2 groovy buttons. My 2 groovy buttons. And count them. 1, 2. Oh no! Another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? How many? One. 1. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept on singing his song. My buttons, my buttons, my one groovy button. My button, my button, my one groovy button. Pop! Oh no! The last button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 0. 1 minus 1 equals 0. Did Pete cry? Goodness, no. Buttons come and buttons go. Pete looked down at his buttonless shirt. And what do you think he saw? His belly button! And he kept on singing his song. My button, still have my belly button. My button, still have my belly button. And he said, it's all good, good. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness, no. We keep on singing. Buttons come and buttons go. The end of Pete the cat and his 4 groovy buttons. Now let's do a little finger play with our letter G. So for this finger play, we're going to use one hand. So show me your fingers on one hand. How many fingers do we have on one hand? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to use 5 fingers, and we're going to sing about green grapes. So our fingers are going to turn into grapes right now. 5 green grapes growing on the vine. I picked one off because it looked fine. Turn down your thumbs. So now how many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 4 green grapes growing on the vine. I picked one for my Valentine. So put down your baby finger. Now how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. 3 green grapes growing on the vine. I ate another because I couldn't decline. Boop. Put down your ring finger. Now we have 1, 2. 2 green grapes growing on the vine. I ate a juicy one in the sunshine. Let's take the tall one down. Boom. How many grapes are left? 1. 1 green grape growing on the vine. I ate it too because they all were mine. Put that one down. There we go. That was our letter G finger play for today. So what was our letter? What was our letter today? G. Let's sing our song. What was our letter today? What was our letter today? G was our letter today. G was our letter today. What was our letter today? What was our letter today? G was our letter today. G was our letter today. And that is the end of reading ABCs for today. Don't forget to check out our YouTube channel for other letters that you can explore and learn about together. And don't forget to look for letter G words when you are reading. Practice sounding them out, noticing them, and practice writing those G's in whichever way you would like to. Have a wonderful day, my friends.